Hey guys, what is up? It's me, CroffStudios here, and I'm here with my Series 2 of custom LEGO minifigures. And I'm excited to show you guys the second series. I am completely done with it, and I have a lot more series in store for you guys as well. So I'm going to be releasing these as I finish them, and I don't know, I'll try to make them a little sporadic so they aren't just in order too. But I have a lot of cool figures to show you guys, so enjoy. First up for figures is the Time Traveler, and definitely a unique figure here. It's one of the last ones I made in the series. You can see him right here. I gave him high-tech looking pants, but I actually gave him a low-tech shirt. I thought that was kind of a cool combo, and they're both a gray and red type of theme. And you can see his purple cape right there. I just thought it looked kind of unique on him. I thought it looked pretty sweet. He has a derringer right there in his left hand, and on his right hand he has a little staff. It kind of represents, I don't know, like a Time Lord or something like that. It looks kind of cool. It's a little steampunkish as well. Definitely like the stopwatch right there. That's from a Lone Ranger set. And if you want to see his face a bit better, he has that little gray hat. You can see his face. It's a very old head. And I thought it definitely looks cool for a time traveler. Definitely a sweet head right there. And turning him around, he does have some back printing under his cape. You can see that right there. The torso is from a Monster Fighter set, if you did not know. It's just basically the main hero of the Monster Fighters theme. So I think it did a pretty good job on this time traveler. Up next is kind of a disputed figure, which is the Hillbilly or Hillbilly. You can see him right here. I thought this was actually kind of a funny figure to make. But you can see him right there. I gave him that greased up torso, and you can see he has these scarecrow's legs. I gave him a bottle of wine right there and an AK-47. I thought this was kind of a funny figure to make, though. I mean, why not? You can see his face right there. It's kind of an angry face. He has that cool type of cowboy-looking hat. You can see his back torso right there. Looks really sweet. And he also has a tattoo on his left arm. I thought it was just kind of a comedic figure to make. I don't know, it wasn't really intent. I mean, I just kind of got bored when I was making these figures. I thought it was kind of a cool figure to make, honestly. I mean, LEGO would never make something like this in a LEGO minifigure series, but I thought it was just kind of a cool figure. Up next is the Race Car Champion, and you can see right here he has a gold trophy. This is one of my original figures from my old series, redone. You can see I gave him the Zane hair right there. I thought it was kind of a unique hairpiece to give him. You can see he has a happy face right there, and he has the torso right there. It's actually a soccer torso, but I thought, you know, why not? It actually does look pretty cool. You can see his legs are from a World Racers set. And turning him around, he does have some back printing right there. I thought it was a pretty cool figure to make. Very simple minifigure, but I think it gets the job done. Up next is Slender Man, and you can see right here there's a very customized figure. I put a lot of customization into this one. You can see his torso right there is the Lex Luthor torso, I'm pretty sure. You can see his head is just a blank white head, and his legs and arms were from the Woody minifigure from Toy Story. I just recolored them black with spray paint. You can see the little "Don't look or it will get you" little note right there that he gets. He does have some back printing right there. I thought it was a cool figure to make. And maybe I'll do like a special stop motion on this part 2 of the Slender Man stop motion. I made one a while ago. Maybe I'll make another one. But you can see him right there. Definitely an improved figure from the last one. And I think it did a pretty good job making the Slender Man figure. Up next is the female pirate, and they did make a male pirate a while ago in a series, but they did not make a female one, so I definitely took the opportunity right here. You can see her face right there. She has a cool looking torso right there with a peg leg and a little hook arm with the pirate sword, and she does have some back printing right there. I think it did a pretty good job in this figure. Pretty simple minifigure, but it definitely gets the job done, I think, for a female pirate. And not really too much was explanatory about this. It's a pretty cool looking figure. The only thing maybe I could have done a little better on was the hat piece, but other than that, I think it did a pretty good job. Up next is one of my favorites, which is the Janitor, and I really like this figure. And I've always thought of making a Janitor minifigure. I've never really got around to it until now. You can see his pants have a lot of utilities and tools. I gave him a little gray bucket with a little mop right there, or a little broom. And you can see his torso is from a Lego Movie Cop, but you can see his legs right there with all the utilities on it. And turning him around, you can see his back printing looks pretty cool. Has a little walkie-talkie print right there. Pretty simple minifigure. You can see he's kind of angry, but he has the slicked back hair. And I think it did a pretty good job representing a janitor. Up next is the robot Faro. Like I said in the first series, I'm going to be doing a bunch of robot type of fighting guys that are based off of old-fashioned or new-fashioned guys. So this, the last one was the robot Viking. This is the robot Faro. You can see right there, definitely a cool shield. It's from, 2 of the parts from this minifigure are from the new Faro minifigure from, I think, Series 12 or something like that. I don't remember. But you can see they all have, all the robots I'm making have that Lego movie head right there, and you can see he has a cool armor piece from a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles set, and he has mostly mummy pieces on him from Faro's Quest. Came out a while ago, and he also does have back printing right there. Pretty detailed, and I kind of look at this figure. I mean, the idea of it sounded cool, but I think the minifigure actually turned out really well. So I think it did a pretty good job on this one. Up next is Mrs. Claus, and this is a minifigure that I'm very surprised LEGO had not made yet. And definitely a cool figure in my opinion. Like I said, I'm very surprised LEGO has not made this figure yet. You can see I gave her red glasses right there with the cool gray hair. Definitely matches the personality of Mrs. Claus, I think. You can see her cookie that I gave her right there, definitely cool. And she does have a present which came with the Holiday Elf minifigure from Series 11, and you can see his back printing right there, or her back printing right there. Looks really cool. But I think it did a pretty good job in this figure. I couldn't really find a dress piece that matches this very well, but I mean, I think it's better with legs actually, although most depictions of Mrs. Claus, she normally has a dress on. I think it just gets the job done with the legs. I mean, I don't really think it needed a dress. I think I did a pretty good job on this minifigure. Up next is the drummer, and this minifigure has a small unique thing I wanted to show you about him. But you can see his torso is one of the highlights of him, a very old Luke Skywalker torso. Definitely a rare, cool piece I added to him. You can see his arm printing is from a Native American figure from Series 10. You can see his leg printing is very cool. It has the evil-looking eyes there on the belt. And you can see his face has a chipped tooth right there. You can see he has the two drumsticks, and on his arm, as you can see that little band going around his hand, or wrist, I guess. That's actually a sticker piece from a Lego set. I don't really know, but I actually cut it and put it around this guy's arm. I think it looks really sweet. And turning him around, he does have a double-sided head and back printing. The back is a little scraped up. I don't really know if you can tell, but it's a little scraped up on some parts. It's not too bad, though. But you can see he has a little scared face. I don't know. Maybe the crowd is going up to see him. They probably went on stage, and they're chasing him now off the stage. Pretty cool figure right here, though. The drummer, I think, was needed. I'm not sure really why they hadn't made this figure. They made like a bunch of rehashed Rockstar minifigures with guitars, but they hadn't made a drummer yet. So that's why I made this minifigure. Up next is the chef, and a pretty simple minifigure right here, but I definitely think it gets the job done. You can see the pizza right there, and I gave him a pan. His legs, I think, are from a scientist minifigure, but I think it looks pretty cool. He has obviously the chef hat with a cool-looking face right there from a Monster Fighter set. You can see his torso right there is the chef torso from the Parisian restaurant. He does not have any back printing. He's a very simple minifigure, like I said. Obviously, if LEGO made this figure, they'd probably put some back printing or something special with him, like a new food piece instead of a pizza. But I think this is a minifigure that LEGO needs to make in one of their next upcoming series, and I think it would definitely be a cool figure to add, but I made him in my series for now. Another very simple minifigure I added to the series, but I think it gets the job done, is the Comedian. You can see he gets a microphone right there with the short sleeves. I wanted to give him a little bit of extra detailing since he is a simple minifigure, so I gave him the short-sleeved arms. And he does not have any back printing, but that is a pretty old torso piece right there. And you can see he gets just a jean shorts with the belt right there. You can see his laughing face right there, and maybe he's doing like a stand-up and this could be like one of his expressions he's doing for when he's on stage. So I think it's a pretty cool minifigure. It's very, very simple, like I said, but definitely gets the job done. Up next for figures is the classic supervillain. And what a better way to have our Series 1 superhero to fight than a classic supervillain. You can see the black slicked back hair right there with the two capes, dark red and black. You can see his staff right there has a jewel on it at the end of it with a lightsaber hilt for the bottom part. He has the white cat, which is seen in a lot of villains in movies. You can see his legs right there are from a wizard from one of the newer castle themes that came out. And I think he has the Emperor's torso. He does not have any back printing, but he's a pretty cool figure. I thought this was a cool figure to make because, I mean, they haven't really made like a classic supervillain. Because I made a classic superhero with like a baby wrap and stuff like that with it. I thought it was a cool figure. And what better way to go against the superhero than a classic villain with the white cat. So definitely an iconic figure, I guess you could say. And I definitely think this should be added to a series. Up next is the Spy, and you can see he has all black on except for his face right there. That is a old Star Wars face, if you did not know. It's from a scout trooper, and that was what was used as the glasses at one point, instead of just the black heads that they use now. But you can see right there, you can see his torso is a Star Wars torso, and he has the Cole legs from 2011, I think. He has a gray walkie-talkie with a silenced pistol, and he doesn't have any back printing. He's a pretty simple minifigure, but obviously he's not really meant to have not a ton of printing because he's a spy. He's supposed to not be able to be seen very well, so I think I did a pretty good job on this figure. Up next for figures is the doll. And you can see the doll is a pretty cool minifigure. Obviously, like, little girls would be playing with the doll and stuff like that. I think this is a pretty cool figure. You can see I used the Scarecrow's face for this, and I gave her a little brown hair piece right there. And you can see her arms and hands are the same color as the head, which was hard to find those two colors to go together. You can see I gave her a little strawberry piece with her, and she has a purple torso and legs, which would probably be a cool exclusive thing. And she does have back printing, which definitely adds more detail to her. You can see that right there. Pretty simple minifigure, but honestly, this is actually kind of a cool figure, and it would definitely go well with like mocks and stuff like that, store setups and stuff. I think this would be a cool figure for LEGO to make in a minifigure series. Up next is the escaped prisoner, and you can see him right here. He's a classic prisoner who escaped the prison. You can see I gave him some brown pants right there. He has a little bag right there, and I also gave him a ball chain on his legs right there. You can see that's a cool piece right there, and when you turn him around, he has some back printing. It's a pretty simple minifigure. A lot of parts were used from City on this figure, but you can see obviously the exclusive piece with this guy is the hat, the really cool burglar or robber hat. This hat can be used in many City scenarios and stuff like that. It doesn't have to be a robber, but it's used on a lot of older 1900s or early 1900s depicted minifigures. I thought it was a cool minifigure right there, and obviously the best piece about him was the hat, so I think it did a pretty good job on him. And last up for minifigures is the Prince, and you can see him right here. I used the old Anakin hair, which is a pretty cool touch added to him. But you can see he has a long sword right here and a rose for obviously the princess from I think Series 12 minifigures as well. But they made a princess, they made a king, so why not make a prince? I think it's definitely a cool minifigure. You can see his legs right there, and his torso are just basic knight torsos and legs and stuff like that. He doesn't have any back printing, but I did give him a double-sided head right here. You can see, I don't know, maybe he didn't find the princess wasn't there, or maybe he's in danger or something like that, but I gave him that face right there. It's kind of like a Romeo or something like that, or maybe just like a classic prince, and I think it did a pretty good job on him. Take his long sword right there. It's a really cool long sword. All the specialized parts I was talking about are from Brick Warriors. That's where I get a lot of my parts to make these custom minifigs and stuff like that. So yeah, that's the prince. Alright guys, so that is basically it for my LEGO Custom Minifigure Series 2, and I was very happy to make this series again. The first one did really well, and I'm definitely going to be making a lot more. I already have a couple, I basically have 2 or 3 series after this pretty much done, needing small touches and stuff like that, and I have a 6th one planned as well. I don't know if I'm going to do a 7th one. Ideas are actually pretty hard to come by just in the 6th one, so it's going to be hard to make a 7th one if I do. But tell me if you guys definitely want to see a 3rd one, because I have that one pretty much almost done. And I think this is a pretty cool series. I don't really know if it was necessarily better than the first one. I think the first 2 are definitely really good, and I definitely can't wait to show you guys what's in store for the next couple that come out. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed the video. Make sure to rate, comment, and subscribe.